Hi everyone, my name is Amir Sadiq. Welcome to my video. I'm here today to demo a new custom MicroStrategy mobile app that I have created. It is mainly for MicroStrategy administrator users. Traditionally, as you may know, we have been monitoring MicroStrategy systems, either logging into developers tool and see the user connection monitor, job monitor. If you want to see caches, cubes, everything is available in developer tool. And if we want to get the statistical details of the system, about the jobs and about the users, we usually use MicroStrategy Enterprise Manager. We create reports and dashboards and we pull out that information. Similar details can be achieved using System Manager, which is another tool that MicroStrategy provides us. What is new here is that I created this app. It basically uses MicroStrategy APIs to pull the live information from the iServers and project it into your mobile device. So how it works, I'm just going to show you in this app. So the app name is MSTR Monitor. I'm going to launch it. So first thing we need to do here is configure the settings. And there we need to provide the web server connectivity information. Here you can provide your web server name, or you can provide the IP address, and you can provide the port number accordingly. I'm using a dev environment, so I'm using a default Tomcat setting, which is 8080. The port number and path is MicroStrategy. This is the name of the WAR file that you deploy to on the web server. And you may have a different file name for the WAR file, so each environment is different, but 99% the default is MicroStrategy, so I kept it like that. So if you have a different one, you can use it accordingly. Next thing, we're gonna jump into type. So type tells you need to specify what type of web server you are using. Is it J2EE, which is usually like Tomcat, Glassfish, WebLogic, those type of servers. And if you have ASP.NET, which is mainly like Microsoft IIS. So in my demo case, I'm using Tomcat, so I will stick to J2EE. But this is like configurable from here. Very easy step. Then like if it's HTTPS or not, you can configure that. In my case, I'm using HTTP. After this, we need to provide your admin login credentials to your MicroStrategy metadata. So I'm logging in as an administrator. A password is blank. Don't tell anyone, but that's what I'm using right now, which is like a default password anyways when you install MicroStrategy. Authentication type you need to specify, which requires by MicroStrategy. So in this case, I'm using standard authentication. You can also use LDAP, Windows, database. All these are configured within the app. Next step here is thresholds. This is a new thing I came up for this app, and it basically give you different colors of the users or jobs depending upon their duration, like how long any user is logged in. Accordingly, you can set up the color. So if a user is logged in this case, like less than a minute, then it will show as green. If it is above 1.5 minute, which is like 1 minute and 30 seconds, you're gonna show yellow. And if it is more than that, like if it crosses 6 minutes, then it's gonna show in red. This is just to create some easy look and feel, so when you're looking all the list of users, you will have an idea rather than looking all the details. So just kind of give a nice visual effect when you're browsing to the list of users. So same thing I have for the jobs. You can configure accordingly. So you're gonna see more of this stuff when I demo the job monitor and user monitor. It will make more sense there. So let's go back, and then one last setting I have here is how to configure caches. And this setting means like how many caches you want to bring from the iServer, and like you can have 100 and 1,000 sometimes if you're not expiring the caches or deleting or purging the caches. They can stay for a long time. So So it's just to make sure, we're not putting every single cache. So we kind of set a limit using incremental refresh. Same thing goes with the cube. So default settings I have are 50 for each. So this is just a basic setup. So if all the configuration settings are correct, the next thing is to verify whether I can connect to the web server. So I'm going to click on show me all the iServers that are connecting to this web server. So I'm just going to go ahead and launch it. So if everything goes well on this particular web server, I have two iServers connected. One is Amir Think. This is one of my machine which is on 9.4, and then I have another one, version 10.4 virtual machine. So as you can see, the same API I'm using for both the versions, so it's very compatible. It's a same API that's working on 9.4 and everything above. Anything that like 10x you're using should be fine. So let's do this. Let me go first into version 10.4, and I'm gonna go one by one on each of these, just to show you what it is bringing to us. So I'm just gonna go and say user connections. As you can see, there are two users logged in on this machine, and I just created these dummy users. And as you can see also that the colors of these users change. And let me just do something really quick, and I'm just gonna create another user just to show you guys like how if somebody's logged in first time, and you have a threshold, in my case, that if it is less than 1 minute, or it should show as green. So let me go back and refresh this again. As you guys can see here, it's showing in green. So look at this, how easy it is just to see. You can create a visual effect depending upon their duration time, right? Now if I click on a user, you get a basic information, all the session related details on this particular view, like username, project, time connected, what is the total time duration so far, the client type is web, is he running any jobs, not at this time, first job, last job, session ID, which you can use it for testing purposes. But everything pretty much that you do on developer tool, you can just pretty much see it on your fingertips on your mobile device, right? Isn't that cool? So this is one piece. The other thing is you can have sorting feature available. So depending upon what you're looking for, I want to sort by duration, then you can see ascending order and descending order based on that. Same way, if you want to sort them by username, then you can do that as well. So this is kind of another cool feature I have added. Let's go on the job to see if there are any jobs running. Right now there are no jobs running, and we're going to run a couple of jobs to see how it's going to be behaving, right? So that's one. Caches, so when you click caches, it's going to show you in the menu what are the current projects that are loaded on your iServer. So for those projects, you can choose caches. So let's say I'm going to use MicroStrategy tutorial. And right now, because this is a fresh installation, so I don't have any caches set up for this project. So, but I do have on the other iServer. I'm going to show you guys in a minute. Cubes. If you see here again, you can choose which project you want to see the cubes for. Just click on it, and here you go. Bingo! It's going to show you all the cubes. But since I have set up the limit of just to bring 50 cubes, as I showed you guys in the settings earlier, so it's only going to bring 50 cubes, and you can again sort them by any way you want, by size or by hit count, and it's going to show you how many hit counts you have, right? Everything on your fingertips, pretty straightforward. Next, let's see what we have in the cube. So if I go on a particular cube, here I've created a functionality like you can refresh the cube. You just hit refresh and it will start refreshing the cube. We're gonna see that as well in a minute, but let me just go through all the settings really quick. So you see you have a cube name, cube ID, when it was last updated, hit count, last hit time, right? And the size. The other cool thing you're gonna see here, the statistic of the cube. Yes, the statistics of the cube right here, everything is available on your device. So you don't have to babysit on the desktop or on your laptop to see, especially the time when you're troubleshooting some long running cubes and you want to find out what passes were taking longer time to execute. So you kind of give you more insight to it just on your mobile device. So that's another cool feature we have here. Uh, so let's go ahead, and since as you guys can see I don't have any job running, I'm gonna go on the cube and I'm just gonna say order cube and refresh the cube. So now the cube starts refreshing. You go back and you see the job is submitted to the iServer. And if I click on this job uh, and refresh it, it's gonna still the SQL is not submitted to the iServer, so we just have to give a minute to see, but it should display all the jobs running for this particular cube. Here you go. Finally it showed up. So you can see all the passes, everything shows up here. And I just want to point out another thing, like when the first time SQL is submitted, you see these temp tables, they have a shorter name. So once they start getting completed, you're going to see a longer name showing up. So let me refresh, and here you go. You see, so this tells me that these passes are completed. So you can see all this information on your mobile device, as easy as it can be, right? I'm currently using this, troubleshooting some of MySQLs, which is like pretty handy. I can be in my, in a restaurant or, just driving. I can quickly see what's going on. If I have to keep track of any job that I have to submit for testing purposes, I can pretty much see here. Or in a real production environment, sometimes you encounter issues like why certain jobs are taking longer time to run. You can monitor pretty much all that from here, which is another cool feature we have. Subscriptions. Similarly, you can pull out the subscription for a project, and this is basically for that particular user. So since I'm the admin user, so I have all the subscription for my user. Similarly, you can go in your subscription and you can see the subscription coming up, and then you can trigger them if you want. So this is another cool feature. You can run subscription now right from your mobile for any of the list of subscriptions you have created before. So this is another feature I have. Then lastly, I have events, right? So in events, as you know, events are usually associated with the schedules, and schedules are associated with with subscriptions. So if you have event that something like you have integrated with your ETL process, like as soon as certain jobs finish, you want to kick off MicroStrategy events, so those subscriptions that are using that event will be triggered. So it's the same concept here. All we are doing here is we're pulling all the events, and then for any reason you want to manually trigger any event, you can just do it from your mobile device. Traditionally we can do it from developer tool, but here we can just do it from just by clicking a button. You don't have to go through like a lot of menu options in the developer tool to figure out where the events are and then trigger the event if you want to use. This is like something very handy to have. So since we don't have any jobs running, I think the other job got completed, so we don't have any other jobs running. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go ahead, and I created this for demo purposes. One trigger is called run demo reports. So I'm going to trigger that. Okay, it triggered successfully. So it's tied up to a subscription, so that subscription should run multiple reports. So if I come here, wow, all these reports started running at the same time. So you can also use events to run the subscriptions just from your phone. And then these are like just dummy reports I created, just like select sleep 300 seconds. Just for demo reasons I have created this. So yeah, these are some of the very basic features that you can use from your mobile device. You don't have to sit in front of your desktop machine, right? Same thing, like you can go to another server if you have on your web server connected to, and you can get the same type of information from there. Now, earlier I mentioned that I don't have the caches on version 10.4, but I do have some caches on AmirThink iServer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see for these list of projects for which project I want to pull in. So mostly I have in the tutorial project, so I'm just going to run it there, and you see all the caches are available here. So that's another pretty cool thing, right? And you can see the caches information, when it was last updated, how many hit counts you have, things like that. And the rendering is pretty straightforward, I mean, and much faster too. So yeah, it's kind of cool and handy app that admin users can carry, and then they can check in on and off who is logged in, what jobs are running. It kind of brings you more closer to your system. So yeah, that's all I have. And if you have any particular questions, then you can email me at my address. Here you go. My email is asadiq@bizalts.com, and my website is www.bizalts.com. So you can check out any of the updates that I provided on the website. I will be launching this app on the App Store, hopefully very soon. So if you want to know when it's going to be available, please visit at my website, and you can find it there. Or if you have any further questions, please do email me. And thanks for watching this video, and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.